What is up, guys? It is Carlos. Welcome back. And guess what? It is Glocktober. I would be remiss if I told you that I am not a Glock owner, because the truth is I actually own more than one. Probably later in this month, I'm going to talk a little bit about a very, very special Glock that I own. But being from Georgia, Glock is obviously the firearm to have because of the fact that they are native to Georgia. They're in Smyrna. Now, this is not your average Glock 43, but it is my Glock 43, and it has been customized quite a bit, as you can see. And there are a couple things that you cannot see that are here, but we're going to go ahead and go over them right after the intro. Stay tuned for some info on my carry piece, which is today's Glock showcase. This is the Glock 43 for Glocktober. Stay tuned. So first things first, in the spirit of safety, I just want to go ahead and tell you that this is loaded. Okay, I took this right off of my person. This is my personal carry piece. I typically carry this with 2 extra magazines. They are the extended versions that have the Pierce +1 mag extension that kind of gives it a little bit larger bit to be able to go ahead and grab with your third hand, but I meant your third finger. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and remove the magazine. I'm going to remove the holster and then remove the round. By the way, this is a Spear Gold Dot 9mm round. This is the standard 6-round Glock 43 magazine. And I like it because the flush mag allows me to go ahead and have as small of a profile and along with a quality holster like this one from South Fort Holsters, which is, a single clip, full Kydex with a mod wing. It keeps it really, really close to, to your body, and it keeps it from having any issues whatsoever with printing. So this is my Glock 43. This is an Austrian Glock 43. It does not have any of the maker's marks from here in Georgia, but it does have a few little maker's marks up here. You can see the Glock insignia. There's the AT 9x19 right here, and then a small circle that says 3D. Right there, maybe you can see it. There we go. Okay, so there's that. All right, you have the night sights. These are True Glow night sights, and right up here you'll see that it says TG-H3G. These are Glock True Glow H3 night sights. Great quality. This is basically your standard 3-dot night sights. They're white during the day and then they glow at night. Really good quality stuff. Okay, now if you're wondering, I'm going like this, the truth is you saw me go ahead and remove the magazine as well as the chambered round, but I'm going to go ahead and rack the slide back so you can see right through it. You can see the D, the C, and the S. So yeah, there's no round that is chambered currently in this firearm. So first things first, I did talk about the holster. This is from South Fort Holsters. You can get an awesome holster from them, or you can also get it if you choose to just go ahead and support Georgia all the way, not only in your Glock, but in some of your parts. Feel free to go ahead and check out Phil Norton at Norton Concealment. He will make you an awesome piece. Let him know that Carlos from DCS sent you over, and I swear he will take care of you. If he doesn't, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to go ahead and set up the introduction, and he will be more than happy to accommodate whatever questions that you have, or maybe, just something custom that you want for your Glock, or maybe your non-Glock firearm. So that said, let's go ahead and get to the Glock itself. So you have the night sights. I do have the Banksy Panda backplate. That's just, it's purely aesthetic. It's something that, my my girlfriend and then her sister they call me Pan Pan or Panda. It's a shout out to them. It's kind of a nod over to them, and I like it because it's, you know, the Banksy style panda, which I'm pretty sure it's not even a Banksy, but it's the panda holding the 2 pistols. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. So aside from that, one really important detail that I thought was missing on this this particular firearm that I did go ahead and put on here is the Hogue handle grips. Okay, now this is the Hogue handle beaver tail grip. And the reason why I stress the beaver tail is because typically the Hogue handle grips are like about yay high, okay? And they just pretty much go to right here. So then what happens is you grab it and then you have this space here that's really the normal firearm, but this part right here has these grooves and it's rubberized to add a little bit of thickness and tactile response, you know, to go ahead and just kind of have that nice, there is some shock absorption from that, and, you know, good purchase of the firearm. It really does help with that. But this version actually, it has the beaver tail, and it actually goes up here to the swell so that you get the swell of your hand that goes and has that nice grip, which really helps because of the fact that this is a lightweight single stack firearm. This holds in the flush mag, there's 6 rounds here, and then with 1 in the chamber with just 7 rounds, and you're firing 9mm. You know, for a firearm that's been rated for plus P, which this is not, this is just standard pressure, but in any case, you can run plus P through here. Being that it's such a small firearm, you do want to be able to mitigate as much control from it so that you can have accurate follow-up shots and accurate initial shots. So having something like the, you know, the Hogue handle beaver tail grips is something that I thought was necessary. And yeah, I mean, you know, the difference in groups when you shoot with and without is pretty night and day, and that says a lot coming from somebody that has used other grips before, like rubberized Talon grips, which are great, by the way. Traction grips as well. They make some as well that are very similar. And it's great, but this is the nice combination of adding this kind of rubberized, tacky, tactile surface. It adds a finger groove here, which acts as a bit of a ledge, which is great. And it adds just a tiny bit of thickness to the firearm that gives it that edge, at least in my opinion. I like it a lot, and that's the reason why I've chosen this over the Talon grips. I actually had them on, I took them off, and I just kept these on. Okay, now the elephant in the room is the trigger. Now, this trigger, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you a little bit about, because it is something that I did install myself, and that's the good thing about Glock is that they have a very easy way to go ahead and take them apart and put them together. There's not a lot of parts to it, and that's one thing that I really like about it. Okay, so say for example, if you're gonna go ahead and take this firearm down, go ahead and check in the time here, go ahead and pull this back, pull this down, pull the trigger, and voila, it's done. Okay, basically with a few extra things that you do here, you need a little punch, and you go ahead and remove the pin that's right back here, pin that's up here, a couple other things. You can actually remove the entire trigger group and replace it with another trigger, and that's exactly what I did. This particular trigger, if you can see it here, and I apologize that it is a pretty it's pretty dirty right now because of the fact that I was carrying it for quite some time, so it's just a testament to the fact that I am carrying it. But this trigger is from, see if I can show that off here. And it doesn't show. Okay, there it is. It's from Hive Technologies, okay? So this trigger is actually called the Monarch design from Hive. Now, there is a reason why I bought this, and I'll go ahead and share that with you. If you notice, the way that the trigger is designed, okay, it has a very Glock-like design, in that it has the Glock trigger safety right here, the Glock style trigger safety that's black, and then the trigger boot itself is green. Okay, I got it basically to go with the rest of the scheme of the, you know, the black and the green, but the truth is it's not the same green, and I'm kind of regretting it now. But what I like about this is that when I had the original Glock trigger, this part right here, this little, I guess the trigger safety, it kept biting into my finger, okay? And granted, this is not the kind of gun that you want to be shooting 100, 200, 300, 400 rounds at the range. Granted, you could, but then you're going to start having blisters on your finger because of the fact that the trigger itself, it's very rough around the edges. It almost feels unfinished from Glock. It's a great stock trigger, don't get me wrong. I've dealt with worse, but I felt like with the Hive Monarch trigger, what they've done is they flattened this area out just a little bit more, and then with this trigger safety, it actually has been smoothed out here, and there's been a little bit more work that's been done to it, so it feels like it's nice and crisp and easy to use, easy to operate, easy to reset. It's been great as far as actually using excuse me. And I mean, I feel that, follow-up shots have been great. Using it for extended periods of time have worked out really well. And just overall, it's held up extremely well. And as you can see, that reset is nice and tactile. That sound you hear, and then it's just a little bit farther back. Boom. So let me show that a little bit closer. That's it. Boom. So yeah, that's something to consider if you are looking to upgrade the trigger on the Glock 43. This is definitely something that is worth checking out. Now, if I recall correctly, the trigger group for the Glock 43 is also compatible. Okay, and I mean, again, don't take my word on this. I'm not going to be held liable for it, but I think it's also compatible with the 43X. Okay. Now, I might actually check that in the future because I do have the frame for the Glock 43X. It's the same as the one for the Glock 48, and I bought the frame itself because I can always use this slide on the Glock 43X frame and create basically an all-black Glock 43X. So I might actually swap them out and see if they're compatible, take it to the range and see how it goes. But for the meantime, I do want to say that is something that I've been using in this particular firearm. And yeah, I mean, the Hive Monarch trigger has been fantastic. I can't speak highly of it enough. There are some things that I just kept stock on this particular firearm, just to be able to not engage certain things in the bolster itself. Like, for example, I'm not a big fan of the extended mag release on it. I think having this one on here is perfectly fine. These magazines are drop free anyways. And the extended slide release, I really don't think it's an issue. Even if it's, not loaded, you just go ahead and drop it and you're good to go. I mean, you just got to know how to, use your firearm. And a lot of that comes with working with your firearm all the time. The coating on itself, it works really well. And, I can always have that refinished by Glock, for a very low charge. And they really stand by their firearms whenever you take it over to their factory or you send it over for repairs. I've been to the Smyrna factory a few times, and I gotta tell you, they are stand-up people. So yeah, that's my Glock 43. I figured I'd go ahead and show it off for Glocktober. Let me go ahead and put this stuff back together because of the fact that, again, this is my carry piece, and I like to keep it loaded and ready to go because you never know what is going to happen these days. And, better to be prepared. Make sure that what you have runs perfectly. Now, that's not to necessarily say that I am a proponent for, complete overhauls of your firearm. The companies that publish or produce these firearms do so with the parts that come with it and the intent of saying the sum of all these parts is a firearm that meets the standards and qualities of that company, so it should perform as advertised. They cannot say that it's going to perform as advertised when it has all of this stuff that's on it. Now, granted, that's the reason why I got the stuff. I, put several hundred rounds down the range. I've cleaned it, I've shot it, I've cleaned it, I've shot it, and I've carried it. And the reason why I carried it is because I know that it works. Now, Will it work for you? Maybe, maybe not. But I do really recommend that you check some of these products out, whether it's Hogue, who makes great products. You can check out Norton Concealment or Southford Holsters, both great companies that produce great holsters with and without the mod wing. And they could, they can make all kydex, they can make hybrid holsters, I mean, you name it. And aside from that, the, Hive Technologies Monarch trigger. Go ahead and check that out and let me know what you think. If you have any issues with installing, please feel free to go ahead and reach out to me via my contact page at my website, dailycarrysolutions.com, or feel free to just go ahead and send me a quick message. You can send me a video message or just a regular message through my Instagram at dailycarrysolutions. This is my Glock 43 for Glocktober, and I will be signing off now. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on my person because it is my carry piece. And remember, whether you carry this or maybe a Walter PPS, PPS M2, a PBK, a great, 380, 9mm, 38 special, whatever it is. If you EDC, remember, take a DCS. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. And until then, you take care.